For the first time ever, Athletes Unlimited packs up and hits the road in Greenville, North Carolina, instead of our usual spot in Rosemont, Illinois. It's the first ever Athletes Unlimited Pro Games at the Little League Softball World Series. These Little Leaguers are ready to roll. The pros are just as ready. Team Romero and Team Davidson kicking off week 3 of this Athletes Unlimited softball season. We cannot wait to see the atmosphere tonight here at East Carolina University. This is what the AU Pro Games are all about. All 60 players here. They sent a few last year. The Little Leaguers loved it. The experience this year has been unbelievable. 14 of these Athletes Unlimited pros are former Little League players. We have an all-female umpiring crew tonight for both games as well, setting up to just be an incredible night of softball. In the booth alongside the two-time All-American Amanda Scarborough, I'm Chucky Kemp. You've been doing games the last week here. You've gotten to see these pros interact with the Little Leaguers. What's that experience been like?
Yeah, the whole event has just been unbelievable. But I think it was icing on the cake to see the Athletes Unlimited players come to the Little League games. That there were 4 yesterday, and the Athletes Unlimited players got to sit in the stands and watch them play. And now the roles are reversed. The Little Leaguers will be in the stands getting to look up to their role models, watch them play. Some of the best players in the world will be right in front of them.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We've seen tears. We've seen celebration. Probably see some more of that tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun, though. 4 captains this week. They are the top 4 on the leaderboard as of week 3. Megan Faramo and Sierra Romero, repeat captains. Romero went 3-0 last week as a captain, and what happens? Your team gets broken up because you have so much success. So Mia Davidson and Odyssey Alexander, both first-time captains, were both on Sierra Romero's team last week. Not only has she been a great captain, how do you get there? You perform really well. That's what we've seen so far from Sierra this season.
Yeah, Sierra Romero is truly playing in some of her best form that we've seen her play in since her days back at Michigan, where she was a National Player of the Year there. Hitting for power, hitting for average, hitting with runners in scoring position. Already a 400 batting average with 4 RBI early on this season. Last AU season, she had 3 RBI the entire season. Already has surpassed that number and has embodied the word captain, been a leader, made those around her on her team better players and stepping up to perform.
Alicia Ocasio has been on her team both weeks. She says she has been a tremendous leader, their fearless leader, and this is the lineup that Sierra Romero sends to the field. Morgan Zirkle, the new Marshall University head coach, will lead things off. Lorenz, Sierra in the 3-hole, and then Taylor Edwards sandwiched there between her and her sister Sydney. They will be the middle infielders in this game. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Rachel Garcia in the 6-hole. She was the first pick for Sierra Romero this week. Oh, what an event, what a night we are set to have here in Greenville, North Carolina. A doubleheader to kick off Series 3 of the Athletes Unlimited season, but just so much more going on with these Little Leaguers, their families, all in attendance to watch the pros go to work. There's strike 1 from our starting pitcher, Peyton St. George, to Morgan Zirkle. Zirkle electric out of that leadoff spot. She is one of the former Little Leaguers from Milton Little League in West Virginia. Peyton St. George in the dirt, ball 1, her second season out of Duke. One of 2 complete games at the shortened AUX season. She's got a 5.25 ERA and 8 innings pitched this championship season.
Yeah, I'm sure, honestly, Chucky, that these AU players are feeling a little bit nervous to play in front of these little girls and their families and the coaches from Little League, and on a different field, too, than what they're used to playing on. Just things have changed, but I think for the better for today, at least for a little bit. First time that these players have traveled. Usually they're playing just outside of Chicago and Rosemont on one of the best fields at one of the best stadiums in the country.
Definitely enjoyed their time here at East Carolina. It's a really cool setup here on this campus with all their athletic facilities kind of in a pod here. A beautiful stadium, a full stadium of Little Leaguers and fans here in Greenville. Zirkle stays alive, 3-2 count here to the leadoff hitter. Year 2 for Peyton. Seems like there's always some big adjustments for those rookie pitchers to year 2. You're just trying to get used to what it's like without the coaching staff and coming off a college season. Ground ball right side under the glove of Leach. A little different playing on the dirt field this week as opposed to the turf that they're used to at Parkway Bank Sports Complex in Rosemont.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be some adjusting going on, specifically for the infielders playing on a dirt infield as compared to a turf infield, and also a turf outfield that they usually play on in Rosemont. Going to create some different bounces, and also I'm sure their feet feel a little bit different. They're wearing spikes for the first time in a long time. Had to remember to pack those because they don't normally play with them on the turf.
Round ball up the middle. Amanda Lorenz continues her hot season. Always toward the top of the draft board, hitting .471 with a .609 on base percentage entering week 3.
Now you can tell that Amanda Lorenz is feeling good. I feel like, too, being able to hit both sides of the plate well, pitchers get a little bit fearful to pitch her inside, knowing that they have to go hard in, so they like to throw her on the outside corner, taking it right back up the middle of the field.
Quick word from the team captain, Mia Davidson, to her pitcher, Peyton St. George. Lorenz and Zirkle aboard for the captain, Sierra Romero. All smiles between these two teams. Lorenz and Filler over at first base. Sierra watches strike 1. Last year, Sierra returned after time off dealing with a pretty serious knee injury. It's this one well down the left field line, but foul.
Man. Team Romero is wasting no time, coming out swinging early in this game.
Peyton St. George, the first pick for Mia Davidson in the draft. She took St. George first, Ortez her shortstop second, and McQuillan third. A left-hand arm who's been really good so far this season. 1-2 count coming for Sierra Romero. Upstairs 2-2.
You can tell that Peyton St. George trying to settle into this game, and some of her misses, pretty big misses right now because of how aggressive Team Romero has been.
Sierra tied for the league lead in hits with 8, has a couple doubles and taps this one through the left side. Now leads the league with 9 hits, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
When Peyton St. George has been her best in the circle early on this season, the first 2 weeks, it's been because of her ability to change speeds and have a ton of spin, just keeping these hitters off balance. Right now, needing to go back to that. These hitters are just on her early in this game.
And this is a dangerous bat right here. Taylor Edwards, who has not homered this championship season, would love to get the crowd on their feet with the bases loaded. We've seen a resurgence of pitching in this championship season versus what we saw at AUX with the long ball non-stop leaving the yard in Rosemont. Talked to Alicia Ocasio about it, and she said, look, the hitters are just that good. We have to elevate our game as pitchers. Everyone just seems like they put in a lot of work. A lot of these pitchers played during that break between the shortened AUX season and this championship season for their national teams. Inside off the handle, Leach has it. No chance at first, but there's one away. Now Sierra's little sister, Sydney, a chance off Peyton St. George, who's trying to dance out of a big bases-loaded jam here in the top of the first.
Yeah, a couple of times now that they've been on the same team together, and Sierra drafting Sydney. One of the first things that One of the first things that I noticed was Sierra and Sydney playing up the middle of the field right next to each other. It's always cool to pencil them in on defense next to each other.
Saw it one time last summer in San Diego. They were on the same team, but doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
Trying to get drafted in the same area of the drafts, play similar positions. 0-2 count upstairs. This week, though, Sydney's draft stock went up. I think Sierra had to be a little more careful. Sydney hit that grand slam in Series 2. Sierra got her with the 22nd pick in week 2. This week, got her with the 18th pick. So thought I'd better be careful, go around earlier and pick up the little sister. It's it high into center field. Megan Wiggins is there. A lot of speed on third. Here comes Zirkle, and the throw home is in time. No! Mia Davidson puts the headset on immediately. That was a tremendous pick and tag at home plate.
I have to tell you, I thought immediately there was no way Megan Wiggins was going to get the speed of Morgan Zirkle, but Megan Wiggins played that perfectly. And then the tag by Mia Davidson, my goodness. Look at how Megan Wiggins set herself up back behind that fly ball to get all of her energy into it, and it's Davidson with the tag being able to pick this ball on a short hop and have it make the tag for her. Zirkle tries to just go straight hard in. Look how fast she is. That tag 100% gets her before she gets to the plate, and that should be a double play.
What a grab by Mia Davidson at home plate. Wow. And they might have just danced out of this bases loaded jam with nobody out. I think this is the look.
Beautiful. That is on a short hop that ends up going into her glove, and she just lets the hop take its momentum into her tag and ends up grazing Zirkle before she gets there. If this does not get overturned, I am going to be shocked. Right there, she's out.
That's unbelievable, it really is. Here's the call, she is out. What a play, Wiggins and company are fired up. The double play to get out of the bases loaded jam at one point with nobody out. Three hits in the first inning for Team Romero, but nothing coming across. A great job by Peyton St. George and them defensively to get out of that. How about Mia Davidson, the captain, hit a record 5 home runs at AUX. She's right back to work.
She hits with so much power. Every time she steps into the box, she has a chance to hit a home run. And you can just tell she's hitting with a lot of confidence, being able to drive the ball even with power toward the middle of the field and toward the pull side. But Mia Davidson up at the top of the leaderboard because of her ability to hit the long ball. She has 3 home runs already this season and 7 RBI.
She slots herself into the 3-hole of this lineup with Aubrey Leach and Anissa Ortez, who at times this summer have swung it as good as anybody. Megan Wiggins in the 4 spot saw the great arm from her playing center field this week, which we don't always see from Megan here at Athletes Unlimited, has done that plenty of times in her career. And then Sam Fisher, who is the bundle of energy over at third base in the 5 spot. Leach will lead things off against Rachel Garcia as she tries to match Peyton St. George's 0 from the top of the 1st. Good spot on the outside corner from Garcia. Aubrey Leach, somebody who is always highly sought after on draft day as a leadoff hitter, but also I think leadership perspective. Mia Davidson, a first-time captain, to get somebody like Aubrey Leach who understands how to run a team, and I think also probably enjoys it maybe as much as anybody from the coaching side of things.
Yeah, she's just kind of steady Eddie, all sides of the ball.
There's Rachel Garcia. Struggled in Series 2 a little bit. She was at the top of the leaderboard entering that series. 11 2/3, only gave up 7 hits, but walked 13 and hit 5 in her 2 appearances. Just trying to dial it in as far as the strike zone goes. But you always know when Rachel's in the circle, she can dominate.
Yeah, she can. She throws some of the highest velocity in the league to go to her rise ball and her curve ball. And then she'll throw her back to her curve, just like that can catch the outside corner to a left-handed hitter and inside corner to a right-handed hitter. Taken a couple of losses this season, and you mentioned those walks. Not used to seeing that walk number be so high.
Still sub-4 ERA, which when you're talking about struggles in this league, that's a pretty good number to still be at, and to probably not have been where she would like to be. All eyes on Rachel Garcia in the stands right now, one of the superstars of the softball world. National champion with UCLA in 2019, beating Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's a cool part about what's going on right now, Chucky, is that all these Little League softball players watch college softball on TV February, March, April, May, June, and they just can't wait for the Women's College World Series. And it's like every player that they're watching out on the field right now, they've likely seen at some point on their TV screens.
8th pitch of the at-bat, rolled back to Garcia for the first out.
And including, of course, Rachel Garcia, who was a household name in college softball, of course, went on to play with Team USA, made the Olympic team, and competed in Japan with them a couple of years ago. And she's basically like a mini Lisa Fernandez, and which is fitting because, you know, she played at UCLA, got to play with Lisa Fernandez as her pitching coach and assistant coach there. Plays just like her.
So many great connections throughout this league as well. We get to see those UCLA Bruins, who are represented the most in this league, match up all the time. We saw Garcia and Faremo head-to-head, whether it's Faremo pitching or them in the circle against each other. Ortez rips that one on the netting down the left field line.
And we're sitting right next to Jeff Muir, who also has been doing our stats at Little League, and he's probably feeling the same way that I am about what I'm about to say, but the game goes by so much faster here at the AU Pro level than what we've seen from the Little League games. That's in large part to a 15-second pitch clock in between pitches that before, up to this point, we've not had a pitch clock at the college level. We don't have it at the Little League level. So the game, I mean, just going from calling the Little League games yesterday to calling these pro games now, the game just moves.
It's made a significant difference in Major League Baseball. And this championship season has been, game times really 150, 2 hours, 10 minutes, pretty consistently. We've had great pitching duels. Megan Faremo is lights out. We'll see her in game 2 tonight as Ortez rolls it right back to Garcia. She stays busy. The first 2 outs are ground outs to the pitcher. That makes way for the captain, Mia Davidson. Look at this. They're loving it in the Team Davidson dugout right now. All the videos we've seen from the interactions, talking to the players before the game tonight, they have enjoyed this experience so much.
Well, yesterday was just a dream come true for the Little League athletes, and I think also for the AU athletes that got to be around the Little League softball games yesterday and be with them at different meals, go and make a little high five line for them, and the pregame ceremonies that they had for introductions, and answer questions of theirs, give autographs, share gifts. I mean, there's so much interaction just within one day. Just imagine if they got to do that for an entire week, how amazing that would be.
There's a lot of international stars on this AU roster. So we've seen players like Alicia Ocasio talk to the team from Puerto Rico. Erica Piancastelli might be the most popular person here with the team out of Italy. There was a great video of her FaceTiming them a couple days ago, and they were, I mean, half the team was in tears. They were just beside themselves. And then she was waving to them today.
Well, you said might be the most popular player. I mean, there's just no question that she is an absolute role model and idol that they look up to, that team from Italy.
Davidson hits it high into left field. It's just 200 straight out over the foul pole, and it is foul. She did not get a lot of that ball, and it was way out of here.
As hit a little bit more off the end for bat. You'll see Edwards set up outside, and I think a bit of an off-speed pitch to Davidson out in front of it just so lightly. That's Amanda Lorenz out there in left field, hoping she'd have a chance to catch it. But great call by the umpires, clearly foul.
In there, strike 3. Great spot from Rachel Garcia, who goes 1, 2, 3 through this Team Davidson order. Those points roll over to inning number 2, so there will be 20 on the line. Nothing doing for Team Davidson, bottom of the first against Rachel Garcia, so zeros as we go to the second. Let's go into the game with Air National Guard and Mia Davidson.
Long time no see. Welcome to my home state.
So are you from here?
I'm from Hillsborough, like about an hour and a half from here. Not too bad. I tagged her and everything.
Yeah, on the back.
Yeah.
I can't see her.
Oh yeah. I got her in the front.
You got her?
I had her right here.
In the back, right? Yeah.
No, I got her in the front. Yeah. Yeah, I got her like right here. Let's go!
You gotta love it. Mia knew it the whole time. Right when she made the tag, you could hear the oh, oh, oh. We got Mia mic'd up all night tonight. We'll get to chat with her at some point during this game. Such great access here at Athletes Unlimited.
Yeah, that play to end the inning, I mean, you can't look past that. That was one of the best plays, one of the best tag plays I've ever seen.
Rachel Garcia, 6'7", 8" to lead it off for Team Romero. Peyton St. George, that's the first pitch ball that we've seen tonight from her. Garcia hitting .267 on the season, but a .450 on base percentage. 4 extra base hits, and she's adding to it! Rachel Garcia, always on the biggest stage, is ready to roll. Her 3rd home run of this championship season.
One of the Little League teams here is from California, and a couple of their coaches had their hands above their head, pointed toward the sky, because I know that they are big Rachel Garcia fans, being from UCLA. This is a screwball that she just demolished. Fades into the trees. She is on time. That is a beautiful swing by Rachel Garcia, and wow, has she shown up for this game today. She was focused when we saw her in pregame warmups, and you can see it paying off.
Tied for the league lead in home runs with Mia Davidson now with 3. And Rachel is one of 14 Little League alumni. Played for District 51 Little League in California. Only fitting that she would be the one to open the scoring here on a very special evening in Greenville, North Carolina. And everything's pretty close, too, as far as where these games are being played at East Carolina University at Max R. Joyner Family Stadium, and then where the Little League Softball World Series is played at Elm Street Park at Stallings Stadium. It's just down the road. Ground ball to the shortstop, Urtez. There's one out as they get Shannon Rhodes. But what a fantastic, that was the first time I've been to the Little League Softball World Series, and I wanted to go over and just see the atmosphere last night. The games were incredible, extra inning games.
Yeah.
But just the atmosphere, the vendors, and the whole street is shut down. It's such a beautiful little park. I mean, they've done it the right way. Yeah,
the event just has gotten bigger and bigger every year that I've done it. Of course, it used to be held for those Little League softball fans in Portland, Oregon, at Alpenrose Stadium, and this is the 3rd year that we've been here in Greenville. So since after that year of not playing in COVID in 2020, been here in 21, 22, and now 23, and it's an awesome little stadium.
1-0 pitch coming from St. George. Fouled back. Let's go down to Savannah, who has Rachel Garcia.
Thanks, Chucky. Rachel, Taylor Edwards called you quiet thunder. You said you were trying to be quiet today, but that home run was anything but quiet. What do you mean by that?
Just trying to be relaxed and just be more of myself today. Just, you know, trusting my defense behind me, and just being me.
I feel like if there was a perfect day to hit a home run, it would be today, because you so often talk about the importance of, hey, I'm a two-way player. That's something you want to pass on to young athletes. So all of these Little Leaguers here today, what do you hope they take away from, okay, she can throw in this game and she can take 1 yard too?
Just, you know, don't be afraid to do both. I mean, pitchers are interpreted as like just a pitcher only, but it's not true. If you want to hit, put in the time and effort and you can do it.
Thanks, Rachel. Appreciate it. Back to you guys.
Well, Rachel Garcia has done all of those things at the highest of levels. And we were talking, actually watching her take BP. There's a few hitters in the league. Everyone's so good, but when the ball hits their bat, it just looks and sounds a little different, and Rachel Garcia is one of those.
Well, we talked about her pitch velocity, that she's one of the harder throwing pitchers in the league, but when you look at her exit velocity, she's also has one of the highest average exit velocities of when the ball comes off of her bat, it just flies off with power. She's just so strong.
Piper staying alive on that 0-2 pitch from Peyton St. George, just trying to limit the damage.
Yeah, we got to have Rachel Garcia in the booth yesterday. She actually threw out one of the first pitches yesterday. There were 4 different first pitches that were thrown. We had Victoria Hayward throw out one, then Kat Osterman, then Kat Sandercock, and then Rachel Garcia for the last game, and all of them came in the booth and chatted with us as well.
Piper goes after the rise ball for out number 3. So she goes 1, 2, 3, but Rachel Garcia first has her say.
Rachel Garcia with a statement with this swing. We saw it in the circle, now we're seeing it at the plate. Truly one of the best two-way players in the game.
Playing in the Little League Pro Games this year is a special experience because we get to show these little softballers what it looks like to continue playing softball well into your 20s and 30s.
As a professional athlete, we are advocating for this game and continuously trying to get it to grow as much as possible for the younger generation of softball players to be in our shoes one day.
I was that young little girl that started in Little League, and to go out there and play on their field again and just inspire that younger generation that they can be at that level.
That's where my love for softball started, and coming out of Little League, it turned into middle school ball and then high school ball, and then I think that's where dreams kind of become reality, and it all started in Little League.
These players who played Little League softball at one point talking about their experience. Peyton St. George told us she was recruited late too. All of her friends were getting recruited in high school and signing. She was one of the ones that got recruited late, ended up in a great situation at a brand new program at Duke, and put together a very storied career that she's not just at the top of the record books because she was the first. She will stay there for a while because she had so much success. Rachel Garcia has already made her mark with the swing of the bat in this game. Now facing Megan Wiggins here in the bottom of the second inning. Went 1, 2, 3 in the first inning, couple ground outs and a strikeout of Davidson. Megan Wiggins, a great example to these young athletes. She's been playing professional softball for 13 years out of the University of Georgia.
And she just loves the game. I mean, she loved it when she was young. She loved it when she played at Georgia, and then has clearly invested so much of her time and emotion and passion into the game that she's continued to play for all these years after graduating at Georgia.
Saw her hit the long ball once this season already. She's still got the power. Swings through that pitch from Garcia. Romero middle infield behind Rachel Garcia. Jessie Warren at third, Lily Piper at first. And Taylor Edwards, former superstar from Nebraska, along with her twin sister Tatum.
Well, and you keep talking about all these different players and where they come from all across the country, and many of them representing different countries as well outside of the United States, and which is very reminiscent of how Little League softball is too, with the 12 different teams in attendance.
Ripped down the right field line off the glove of Piper, almost robbed Wiggins of a base hit right there, but it's a leadoff single and the first base hit of the game for Team Davidson. Well, here it is, the Little League Softball World Series bracket is back in action tomorrow. You do not get any days off this week, that's what we know. 1 Eastern on ESPN, North Carolina, the host, taking on Texas, and then it's Puerto Rico and New York tomorrow night at 5 Eastern on ESPN. What are you looking forward to most?
Well, all the quote-unquote winners bracket games are tomorrow, so something's got to give, because somebody with the win will set themselves up to head toward that championship game, which, by the way, on Sunday is on ABC for the first time ever. So just seeing what gives tomorrow. Yep. Who's going to lose? Who's going to come away with the victory?
I love the people from the community here in Greenville that have come to support the event and just set up chairs around the stadium, hung out for the entire day watching, just enjoy, like listening to their conversations about how much they are enjoying it. That's pretty special.
Yeah, everybody's invested. Even as Rachel Garcia gets a strikeout there, the all-female field crew that got this field ready and looking just absolutely stunning for the game today, or this is the same all-female field crew that is working the Little League Softball World Series too down the road. So
this facility, we talked about it right off the top, but it is beautiful. Nice indoor batting cages down the right field line where the players were getting ready before this game, hanging out, staying cool. Stands completely full tonight for the first ever AU Pro Games at the Little League Softball World Series. That is hit a long way by Erica Piancastelli, and what a response she would get from the Italian team in attendance tonight if she could do something here. One away after the second strikeout for Garcia. She got Sam Fisher up and in there to Piancastelli.
Well, because we saw the MLB game in Williamsport, the Little League Baseball World Series, and for AU to be here at the Little League Softball World Series for the first time and taking the professional game to the Little League World Series is awesome. Loving it.
I meant to ask you, I think I saw all the first pitches except for Catherine Sandercox. Was it a strike?
Yes, okay. All of them threw strikes. They had great mechanics, even the non-pitchers, which were, I guess there was only one of them because that was Victoria Hayward, had great mechanics.
She did, that was in there. Danielle Laurie posted that on her Instagram. She's like, come on, Vic, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Repping Team Canada. See Victoria Hayward in game 2 tonight.
Yeah, and Erica Piancastelli actually even gave the team from Italy a shout out that was in Italian.
Did you understand it?
Yeah, I did not understand it, but it sounded beautiful.
Very elegant.
I mean, very fluent, very smooth. Like, I'm sure it was a great message.
Two-two pitch here, long at bat between Garcia and Piancastelli. Swings through it, Garcia, strikeout number 3 of the night.
You can tell in this inning that she's starting to expand the zone more with her rise ball. 2 strikeouts with the rise ball that have been out of the zone. One to Fisher and then one to Piancastelli. Back-to-back strikeouts after that single, bearing down.
Outside corner, strike 1 to Nadia Taylor. We're going to get to talk to Kat Osterman between games tonight. We will not go away from the fields. We'll have about 30 minutes between games, but got some special pieces put together. We'll talk to some special folks, including Kat Osterman. She's thrown out 2 first pitches. And I don't want to put her on the spot, but we'll have to ask her about it. The first one yesterday was a strike.
Oh, yeah. It
all
was
good. The one tonight, It was a brushback of a left-handed batter. That's
really?
Yeah. We're going to have to ask her about that.
I think throwing out a first pitch is actually more nerve-wracking than throwing a real pitch in a game, personally.
Yeah, so you got one chance.
You have one chance, and you kind of have to slow everything down. Sherry Kemp nailed hers, too, earlier today. She threw one pregame before the first 2 games today, and she just was perfect.
Don't hype her up too much.
It was wonderful.
Ooh, inside Taylor. That was self-defense. Romero on the run, flips it across for out number 3. Leadoff base runner reaches. Couple strikeouts and a ground out. 20 points for Team Romero.
Welcome back to AU Pro Softball at the Little League World Series. I am so excited to be joined by Michelle Smith and Courtney Lyle, who are experts on all things softball, and they also call these Little League World Series games. So we're going to talk a little bit youth softball, a little bit pro softball since we're here today. Courtney, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah.
As someone who has been so up close and personal to these Little League games, getting to call them and really see it year after year, when you look now, the stands full for the pro games, how do you just see the way that it's grown over time?
Well, I think it's so great, and I think a big part of the growth of Little League was us making the move from Portland to here in Greenville, North Carolina, because we upped the facilities, we've upped the crowds that are coming to see these teams, and also we've upped the teams. We've expanded in the last few years to 12 different teams, so that's really great. But Savannah, I think the most important thing that's happened is that we're getting these pro athletes out here, and they had the chance yesterday to interact with the Little Leaguers so that these girls can see the dream that you can be a professional softball player, and that's why it's important. We got to get it back in the Olympics for the coming Olympics in Paris.
Absolutely.
Or, excuse me, in LA.
Absolutely. Michelle, I know you've been a part of Little League College World Series. Now you're finally getting to experience your first AU pro games. What's your biggest takeaway, seeing the crowds and then also getting to experience Athletes Unlimited for the first time?
Well, I think it's opportunity for women to continue to play the sport they love beyond college. The Olympics are once every 4 years, so I think we need professional sports for women, obviously. I think we need communities to embrace our sport, to continue to build stadiums so that we have opportunities for our elite athletes to be able to play. And then also for the young athletes, as Courtney was saying, for the young athletes to dream and to aspire to one day be out on this field. That's what it's all about.
It's neat because that connection is there already for these pro players. So many of the ones on the field right now were a Little Leaguer. How do you see how that investment on the grassroots level, starting at a young age, and then now being at the highest level, as you see that investment grow, how does that pay off when we are talking about pro softball and the way that it's progressing and getting better and excelling?
Well, if you want to grow in everything at the top, you've got to grow it at the grassroots level. And Little League has really done that with the commitment with ESPN. And I was talking with Steve Keener earlier today, and he said just having the games on where the regionals in order to advance into the women to the World Series, just the growth, the amount of feedback that they got on their internet website was over 15,000 requests for new leagues, for players, information. So if you show it, you'll grow it. I think ESPN's commitment to Little League and vice versa has really become a great partnership to grow the sport of softball, and then obviously with AU as well at the elite level. So, you know, at the top of the pyramid, we have these amazing athletes, but it's really the grassroots. We have to continue to grow it to really move our sport forward.
Michelle, you just reminded me of something that Courtney, you were talking about, of just investing in having the games on TV. So whether you're a little leaguer, a softball player watching on TV, or you're one in the stands, what should they be watching and learning from these pros today, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's just that the hard work that it's going to take. I mean, talking with Michelle, talking with Amanda, these ladies that I work with now, about what it took for them to make it and the grind that it takes. And you know what? You're going to make a mistake, and that's okay as long as you learn from it. And I think at the Little League age, that's a lot of what's happening. Everybody's going to make a mistake. You know what? It's okay. You learn from it and you move on, and that's how you grow your game, and that's what we're seeing. So it's really exciting to see these young softball players. And like you said, we were talking with Kat Sandercock yesterday. She played in the Little League Softball World Series. So who knows who is in the stands right now that we're going to see out there being professional, playing on the college stage someday.
We're going to be pulling up their Little Leaguer pics soon.
I know, right? So all the parents out there, save the Little League photos. Yes.
Courtney, Michelle, thank you so much. Thanks for letting me talk softball and dig into Little League and AU. I appreciate it. Chucky, Amanda, back to you all.
Thanks, Savannah. And Courtney and Michelle both talking about how important it is to not just grow it at the professional level, but grow it at the youth levels as Lorenz goes down swinging for out number 1. But you've been a part of Little League softball for a long time now. You and Michelle and Courtney all have been. What stands out about the growth from Little League from 10 years ago to now even?
Better, the intensity of the game's gotten better. Every single aspect of the game in terms of the talent, everybody making everybody better, has grown.
Oh, stab by Fisher in the double play. And now we're getting to see things like this from the pros in front of all of these Little Leaguers.
Yeah, a couple of double plays that we've had in this game. That was a hard-hit ball off the bat of Sierra Romero, a line drive, and Sam Fisher was just ready for it, playing the hot corner, knowing what she wanted to do with the ball. She saw Zirkle leaning off of first base, so she goes one, gets a double play to end the inning.
Shout out Little League. It's a cool opportunity. You guys want to say something to my mic? I mic'd up today. Say something.
Hey!
Say, hey, Mom. You guys are going to be on live TV.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah. Man, my heart is 1.7. I need to breathe.
No, that's what I've been out here going like this.
The pros are feeling it a little bit, maybe. The big crowd, all the Little Leaguers, eyes on them. Jessie Warren chopping it up with some of the Little League players before the game. She is a former Little League baseball player, actually. So you know this is a special event for her to be a part of. Bottom of the third, and Andrea Filler will lead it off. Another member of the Italian national team at the recent WBSC World Cup qualifiers. They played in their home country of Italy, her and Erica Biancastelli. Swings through that one. Eight, 9-1, Filler, Jackson, and Leach to face Rachel Garcia, who has given up just one hit so far and has struck out 3 through 2 innings. Ooh, inside. Filler will take first. Don't forget, still one more game coming up tonight. It is the top of the leaderboard. Team Romero taking on Team Alexander, led by Odyssey Alexander in her first time as captain. Remember, Odyssey Alexander and Mia Davidson both part of Team Romero last week, but you have all that success, you go 3-0 and get the win points they do, then it tends to happen. Your team gets broken up a little bit.
Yeah, those team win points are really what matter the most, is what you hear from the players. I mean, the individual points do start to add up too, but those team win points being the most important.
Jasmine Jackson laying down the bunt. Warren kind of fighting through traffic. They say safe at first. It was a little bit awkward, dancing through some teammates there. Gave it a quick look to second, but we'll see here. I think Sierra Romero wants to challenge. She does.
Yeah, she is going to challenge it. It was a close play. Kind of indecision by Jessie Warren with the speed of Jazz Jackson. It gave her time to get down the line, but I think this is going to be another overturned call. She's out. And that's just how talented and how Jessie Warren can just field time in space when she's playing defense, and why she's one of the best defenders in the world is because she knew she had time. And that should be an out at first base. She knew she had time to take that little look, and almost it became like a no-look pass, like a no-look throw to first base, because she was just looking to see if she had a chance at 2, and then made the throw to 1.
And it was just kind of, everything was a little bit awkward, not in rhythm, but we talked to her a few weeks ago about that. How did you get so good defensively? And she said she works on all of those things, like kind of putting yourself in awkward positions, and has been doing that since she was the age of these players sitting in the stands today.
Yeah, it was one of the things that we noticed back in June during the AUX season, is just her ability to throw from a lot of different angles.
And they do overturn it. Jasmine Jackson out at first. It is a sacrifice bunt. She does get leaderboard points for something like that. If you're new to Athletes Unlimited, you see the leaderboard, you hear us talking about points. There is an individual component with the leaderboard, but you talked about it, Amanda, just a moment ago. It really comes down to winning. These players are drafted every week. There's 5 total series in this championship season, so you're always changing teams. You play 3 games per weekend. You move up and down the leaderboard based on individual performance, but the biggest numbers that impact your leaderboard standings are win points.
Which I think sometimes they can be deceiving to a new fan. You just assume that the individual points matter more because there is a leaderboard, that it becomes more of an individual sport. But at its very core, when you talk to these athletes, their team points matter. Winning matters ultimately, and also their ability to gel as a team very quickly. These teams are getting mixed up every single weekend. They play 3 games on a weekend and then change teams. And they have to figure out this new team. Like, this is the first game for this Series 3 that this team is playing together, and you have to learn to play together pretty quickly.
It's always fun to see the teams after the drafts on Mondays. Leach goes down on strikes, and Rachel Garcia pretty quietly has 4 strikeouts right now. Everybody loves to rep Athletes Unlimited. You can too. Be sure to check out the new AU softball merch for this season, including personalized player tees. Go to shop.auprosports.com to get yours today. Two away, runner in scoring position. The tying run right now for Team Davidson. Back to the two-hole, Anissa Urtez, who grounded out on a slow roller back to Rachel Garcia. Urtez 5th on the leaderboard right now, just outside the captain's chairs in the top 4. Rachel Garcia entered the week in the 12th spot after sitting in 1st at the end of Series 1.
There's a lot of movement last week. I was taking a look at the leaderboard and looking at like how many spots Bubba Nichols moved up all the way to 6th spot, or the 6th spot on the leaderboard. That was up 33 spots. Sydney Romero moved all the way to 8th place, up 24 spots. And how about Alicia Ocasio, up 35 spots to number 9 on the leaderboard. Some of the biggest movers the past weekend.
Yeah, 4 players up 30 or more spots, and Ocasio was the biggest mover. The 2021 champion of the championship season. We have all of the champions in the building except for one. Danielle O'Toole is the only Athletes Unlimited champion who is not here right now.
Danielle, we miss you. We wish you were here. I'm sure she's watching. She always tunes in. Yeah.
Even though she's called it quits and retired, I think she's still always scouting. And right now, Rachel Garcia is rolling. 5 strikeouts through 3 innings, and that's 10 points on the line, rolling over to the 4th inning between these two teams.
Little League actually got me into softball because I was actually playing baseball, and I was at the Little League qualifier, and a guy went up to my dad and he was like, you need to get her into softball. Because like, yeah, baseball is great, but I think she'll have a great career in softball. And so that's how it kind of started my softball journey. Here I am. So I kind of kickstart my future, if you would say, and it's been an amazing ride.
Mia Davidson, one of 14 former Little Leaguers on the baseball side for her. We're going to the 4th inning. Her team trails 1-0 in a great game to start off the AU programs of the Little League Softball World Series. We are joined by Mia, mic'd up behind the plate. First off, thank you so much for doing this for us, but you're a former Little Leaguer. You've gotten to experience this event the last few days. What has this been like for you guys?
I mean, it's been pretty special, especially doing it in my home state. It's something that me as a little girl would dreamed of, showing them that we can do it. It's pretty special, and I'm so glad to be here. Hey, good miss, good miss.
Mia, what was the advice that you gave to Peyton in between innings or before this inning?
Yeah, I just told her just to go out there trust herself. Her stuff's good enough to beat anybody on this planet, and just do that. And that's what she's been doing. Good miss, good miss.
Mia, if one of these Little League catchers came up to you and asked you about talking to a pitcher and developing relationships with pitchers, what would your advice be to them as a young catcher?
Hold on 1 second. Hey, here you go. Hey, get this to me now. Get this to me. Here we go. There you go. That was down? All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh.
I would say just make sure you communicate. It's all about building that trust. It's all about what you know and their pitches, everything, building that great relationship and everything. That's all you got to do. And working hard, of course.
Yeah, Mia knew that 2-0 pitch needed to be a strike, so she just said, 1 second, I got to frame up this curveball on the outside corner to help out Peyton St. George. Didn't get the call, but Mia, I want to let you know that you should have gotten that call.
I appreciate it. Good pitch! You know, you just got to keep your composure sometimes. No, I'm just kidding.
Mia, what was yesterday like with the Little League players?
Oh, it was so real.
What was?
Oops, excuse me.
What was your favorite part?
I think just seeing the girls, how they have fun, like the opportunity they have, how shows how much the sport has grown. Like these little girls are on national television, and that's what every little girl, everyone dreams of. You know, they're out here doing it, so it's pretty cool. Good, there you go.
How tough is it working against another catcher who knows these pitchers so well?
I mean, you know, it's Tara Edwards, so she's pretty good. So calling pitches against her, it's kind of tricky. I think we talk junk to each other all the time anyway.
I think she heard you. I think she liked that.
Oh, yes, she did. There you go! There you go, there you go! Heck yeah! Yeah, Pete!
Hey, Mia, do you remember why you started playing softball? Or baseball, I guess, was your first sport. So why'd you start playing?
I mean, my dad, honestly, he signed me up to T-ball a long time ago. You know, I snuck in there when my sister started. She started pretty much before I did because she's older. And, you know, worked out. I fell in love ever since. I started with baseball. And ever since that guy told me, since that guy told me, hey, try softball. Ever since then, it's always been a slow journey to get here, but it was pretty cool, you know?
Really cool.
0-1 count to Sydney Romero, 1 out here in the 4th. We are live with Mia Davidson behind the plate right now.
You got room! You got room!
And there's 2 away.
Yeah, Pete?
Mia, first time as a captain, what's that experience been like?
Oh, it's been crazy, you know, especially coming to a place that, excuse me, coming to a place where, you know, it's different atmosphere. It's been crazy, but it's been so much fun. I had my teammates help me along the way, and they just told me to trust my gut, and that's what I've been doing. Yes!
Mia, thank you so much for letting us talk to you during the game. We're just going to listen in the rest of this inning.
Yeah, of course, thank you. Hey, good spot, good spot!
2 outs here. St. George working on Rachel Garcia.
Good!
Yeah, likely going to work her low and away after that home run that she hit.
Like right below? Thank you. Hey, good miss now, good miss.
Mia Davidson, a big communicator. It's fun to listen to her behind the plate. Hard hit, stabbed by Ortez. Oh, what a play by Anissa Ortez.
Yeah, Pete. Good job, guys.
Now tomorrow, I'm going to see some little leaguer trying to do a 360 turn to throw it again across the diamond. Just know it. They want to be just like Anissa Ortez, these athletes looking down to these professional players, wanting to make plays just like them, wanting to be just like them.
(1-0), bottom of the fourth. Team Davidson coming back to the plate. Their captain will lead them off. 20-inning win points on the line after zeros in the third. They try to settle the score here on win points after Team Romero took the first 20. Little League softball and baseball World Series. Baseball hasn't started quite yet. The regional championships, though, all day Friday on ESPN, starting at 1 Eastern with the Midwest and all the way through to 9 Eastern with the West Region Championship. And the Little League Baseball World Series starts August 16th on ESPN. So we've got you covered, basically. Little League Softball World Series ends Sunday. You will be with Michelle and Courtney and Chris Budden on that call to wrap things up here from Greenville, North Carolina. A lot to be determined, though. Yes. More games tomorrow. We had a couple games today.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. There are flags out in left field that represent each of the different countries and or states, which is such a nice touch.
Davidson hit by that pitch. Second batter to be hit by a pitch from Garcia in this game. She had 5 hit batters in the second series. Sydney Romero was actually 2 of those. It was kind of an interesting moment almost. Sydney wasn't too happy about it. I think probably because it really got her good. Maybe on the ankle.
It actually
but
hit her on the calf.
Ooh.
Yeah,
because she bruise too,
put on social media a large bruise that was on her calf.
But Sierra took Rachel with her first pick this week, which is no surprise, really. I mean, that's if Rachel Garcia is on the draft board, you are going to take her quick. And this is quite the infield that Sierra Romero has crafted with Edwards behind the plate, Warren and her sister Sydney on the left side, and then Sierra and Lily Piper on the right. Sydney's so versatile. Plays a lot of third base, plays a lot of second base, and at shortstop this week for Sierra.
Well, and Sierra Romero told me too before the game when I was talking to her over in the batting cages that she has a pitching plan every time she enters a game, and she doesn't want one pitcher to feel like they have to throw the complete game. So she told Rachel, I'm going to pitch you for 4, maybe 5 innings and then bring Alicia Ocasio in. And that's the same strategy that she took last weekend too that she really liked. And that makes a difference in a mentality for a pitcher to feel like, okay, I don't have to have my best stuff for 7 innings. What I have to do is have my best stuff for just 4, maybe 5 innings and go all out from the get-go. I don't have to save anything. I think that might be too why you're seeing Rachel have a good mix of her pitches, going up with her rise ball, using her screwball, her backdoor curveball, like a bigger variety of pitches early in this game, knowing that she's just going to pitch 4 or 5 innings.
When you really have to do that, if like Sierra Romero's strategy as a captain is a winning strategy, and we saw it last week because these hitters are so good, and yes, there are pitchers that can dominate at times. We'll see that from a number of these pitchers because they're elite arms, but it's hard to make it through these lineups 3, maybe even 4 times. And that's something that I think as a whole, these captains and facilitators have done a really nice job of during this championship season, managing arms and situations.
Couple of free passes in this inning, but Rachel Garcia has had 5 strikeouts in this game, and you'll notice that they're all on different pitches. This first one to Davidson, like more of a screwball, and then up in the zone with the rise for 2 back-to-back to Fisher, and then Bianca Stelly, and then to Aubrey Leach, went to her screwball, and then Anissa Urtez, a backdoor curveball. Again, a variety of pitches, 3 different strikeout pitches, types of pitches that she's been using today.
There's her line so far, 3+ innings, just 1 hit allowed. Has hit 2 batters. And has now walked 1 as Megan Wiggins stands on first. Mendez replaces Davidson at second base. Former Oklahoma Sooner and one of our colleagues on college softball is an analyst for ESPN. Big chance for Sam Fisher. Strikeout victim number 2 back in the second inning. 12th spot on the leaderboard, though, just 4 points shy of 600. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. Goes inside a little too far, ball 1.
I'm sure these fans and the players are just waiting for that sun to go down. There's definitely more people, I think, down the first base line with the sun to your back versus the third base line with the sun just in your face. You can tell. These temperatures have just been unbelievably hot. Humidity has been 70, 80%, with the real field being triple digits at 105, 106 earlier this week. Warm day.
Rachel Garcia always pitching with the sleeves on, too. Did you have issues on days like this, gripping the ball at all?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, always trying to find ways to keep your hands as dry as possible because it just really affects the grip. Any type of sweat or even, you know, on those rainy days.
Delivers strike 1 on the 3-0 pitch. You see Garcia has the towel in her back pocket. It's a tough spot. Erica Piancastelli on deck. There's that towel that Rachel Garcia's using to try and keep her hand dried off. 3-1. Foul back and into the stands.
All the Little League teams and a lot of parents too, coaches. Hopefully they stick around too for that second game. It'll be a little cooler, a little friendlier temperatures, and also just as good a talent out on the field when we'll see 2 different teams play tonight.
They're going to get 2 of the best arms in the world in that one as well. Megan Faremo, who might be the hottest pitcher in the world right now after the World Cup qualifier, and then what she did last weekend in Series 2. Garcia has strikeout number 6.
We've seen her backdoor curveball for a strikeout, and now we see an outside curveball for a strikeout. Perfect placement by Rachel Garcia to get Sam Fisher chasing that pitch a little bit off the plate, but having to protect with 2.
Little off the plate, ball 1. Taylor Edwards wants to talk to Rachel Garcia here. Erica Piancastelli with 1 out and a big opportunity, trying to not let this go to waste. Best chance they've had in this game so far. She struck out in the second inning right after Fisher did as well, trying to not do that again. It's really probably nobody you'd rather have in a tough situation, though, as far as Rachel Garcia. First 2 batters get on, nobody out. She's just got everything she needs to get out of jams like this. We've seen her do it this summer many times.
I do think that the one concerning thing is when you look at her stats are the free pass numbers. The hit by pitch and the walks actually are either right there equal to the strikeouts or maybe going back and forth with which column is going to be leading the walks or the strikeouts. But those free passes can just be so hard to recover from too, because on a day like today, you just have to throw more pitches. Throw more pitches within an inning, throw more pitches within a game, and then because of those free passes, you get back to the top of the order a lot faster.
2-2 to Piancastelli. Off speed, hit hard at Romero, trying to roll the pair. Sierra off her back foot. Not going to get Piancastelli at first. Romero's trying to link up for a double play there, but 2 outs with runners on first and third now.
We have not seen a lot of soft contact in this game, really. Every even ground ball has been hit hard to these infielders, testing them. Again, they're playing on dirt. They normally play on turf at their home field in Rosemont.
Nadia Taylor, the last chance, takes a big cut at this and sends it out of the stadium foul. Last year, At AUX, they got to play on dirt at San Diego State University, and it was a left-handed speedster's paradise out there. Oh-1, Taylor again, and Bryce Tekulve, the facilitator for Team Davidson, has to dodge that down the left field line.
Yeah. Everything's flying off the bat with so much speed. And you'll see the infielders playing back. Jesse Warren over at third base and Lily Piper at first, playing well behind the bags.
Tough spot here for Taylor. 0-2. Ground ball up the middle and over the glove of Romero. In comes Mendez, and we are tied at 1. And that's 20 inning win points for everybody on Team Davidson.
And a 2-out, 2-strike RBI for Nadia Taylor. Thought for a second that Rachel Garcia was going to have a chance to field this, and I think that she thought so too. That pitch was well off the plate, a little elevated. She tries to backhand it, but it gets past her and also past Sid Romero. Nadia Taylor with the clutch RBI with 2 strikes.
Garcia not quite out of it yet, gets the call in the outside corner to Andrea Filler, who was hit by a pitch, her first trip to the plate. Inside, got her again. Second time Filler has reached on a hit by pitch. It's 16 stat points total for her. For every run scored during this year's Athletes Unlimited softball season, Aspiration is committed to planting 10 trees. 840 already committed this season thanks to Aspiration support entering this game. So you can add 20 to that, 860 now. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Great off-speed pitch from Garcia to start off Jasmine Jackson.
Yeah, never a different look in her mix is that off-speed drop ball that she'll mix in there.
Too far down in the zone on that pitch.
Yeah, goes back to it again, but looking at her free pass numbers, 4 free passes for Garcia tonight to her 6 strikeouts, talking about how just even on the year, that number is pretty much 1-to-1.
'80th pitch for Garcia coming. Strike 2.
Yeah, that third base dugout just fighting the sun. The first base dugout is probably like, oh, it's pretty nice over here in the shade.
Third base, the home team. First base gets the shade, and Rachel Garcia gets out of a big jam right there with 2 outs as she strikes out her 7th batter of the game. But a run comes across, we're tied, and Team Davidson has 20 inning win points.
We have seen 2 double plays for Team Davidson in this game in 2 different ways. Megan Wiggins with the throw to her captain, Mia Davidson, who makes the pick, and then the tag to get the speed of Morgan Zergel back in the first inning. And then Sam Fisher over at the hot corner, able to rob that line drive and then go 1. 2 double plays for Team Davidson, helping out Peyton St. George in the circle.
And the veteran in center field, Megan Wiggins. Peyton St. George, after giving up 3 singles to start the game, she's really settled in, looked really nice the last few innings.
The last inning, 3 up, 3 down. Even with Mia Davidson talking to us up here in the booth. Maybe Mia Davidson should talk to us every inning.
There you go.
The 3 up, 3 down inning. We're distracting her. She's trying to call the pitches back there, and we're just wanting to chat it up.
I love that she wasn't afraid to be like, hey, hold on 1 second. I got to talk it up to my pitcher real quick.
Yeah,
she asked the umpire about location.
Yeah, she knew the importance of a hitter's count, and Peyton St. George needed a strike in that 2-0 count.
Kind of sweet talking Taylor Edwards, too, at the plate. Got her to ground out. 1-1, down and away from St. George. Shannon Rhodes, a ground out victim as well, her first trip to the plate. Last season's rookie of the year, so she was a captain in week 1 because she was the 4th highest finisher that returned this season. Rhodes in 13th place, entering this 3rd series. Almost to the halfway point in the season already.
I believe it. Time really does just fly.
In there for strike 2. These players will all head back to Rosemont tomorrow. They'll have Friday before they pick up play again on Saturday and Sunday. Eric Collins and Danielle Laurie will have those calls for you. Rhodes deep into right field, and tracking it is Bianca Stelli for the first out. The Athletes Unlimited Pro Games at the Little League Softball World Series continue tonight. Team Faremo, led by their captain Megan Faremo, facing off with Odyssey Alexander and Team Alexander. Don't want to miss that. 7 Eastern, our estimated start time. We will keep you entertained between games as well, along with Savannah Collins down on the field. She has been all over the place these last few days with the pros and the little leaguers as they've interacted.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of these players now too getting autographs from different players. Odyssey Alexander snuck up into the stands too. Her cousin actually plays for one of the teams in the Little League Softball World Series, the North Carolina team from Pitt County, which is just like 8 miles away from here. So pretty cool that her cousin is playing in the World Series, and a line now forming for Michelle Smith and getting her autograph. It's about 8 deep right now as she's sitting in the stands taking in the game. She just got into town too, so she's been busy. Flies in, comes to the game, and just has to sign a lot of autographs in the stands.
Mentioned Odyssey's cousin Kaylee Garner, who plays for North Carolina. They play Texas tomorrow. That's a big matchup. You'll be on the call with Michelle, Courtney, and Chris for that one. They're probably lined up outside of our booth waiting for you as well.
I don't think they know I'm in here.
Okay.
Not only do we have a little AC, but we have a little way to hide.
Jesse Warren deep to left center field and gone! The former Florida State superstar and Little Leaguer on the board, and Team Romero takes the lead.
When talking to Sierra Romero before the game, Jesse Warren was one of the players that she wanted to start to help to feel hot. You see that fist pump of her going back into the dugout. That's a pitch that is over the middle of the plate, and Jesse Warren, he was even actually a little bit out in front of that. Didn't get 100% of it, but she's just so strong. Still able to hit that deep over the left center field wall and retake the lead.
2 home runs, both from former Little Leaguers. And the run for Team Davidson was a product of another former Little Leaguer, Mia Davidson, getting hit by a pitch and reaching base.
I just love that you said that and connected the dots for that, because that is so cool.
This is hit hard deep to center field, and that is gone. Lily Piper for the second straight week. She's starting to find her stroke. The former Ohio State stud.
This game is moving fast now, and that is 3 solo home runs for Team Romero. Rachel Garcia has one, Jessie Warren, and now Lily Piper. Another ball that is just over the middle of the plate. Lily Piper doesn't miss. Attacks a ball that is a mistake, more of a line drive home run, and Jessie Warren, the first person out there to love up Lily Piper, running out of the dugout, celebrate with the team. 3 home runs, all at the bottom of the order.
Let's go down to Savannah. She's got 2 with her.
Thanks, Chucky. Double trouble. This is a first. Double home run interviews at the same time. It's getting contagious in this dugout. What is it?
The energy. We just have so much energy in here, and we're feeding off of each other, passing the bats, staying in our at-bats, and it's just super, super fun right now.
Piper, we talked before this game how you had a plan going in. Did you stick to it, or did you switch it again this time?
I stuck to it this time. My first at-bat, I was really just excited to be able to play out here with all these girls and just show them what we can do, and I had to reel it in a little bit. I got a little excited in my first at-bat.
Thank you both. Thanks for being my first double home run interview. Chucky, Amanda, back to you guys.
Thanks, Savannah. Jessie Warren, Lily Piper, back-to-back pitching change for Team Davidson. It'll be Mariah Masson when we come back. (3-1) Team Romero leading Team Davidson. 2 solo shots in the 5th, 1 back in the 2nd from Rachel Garcia. They have found the long ball, but the new pitcher, Mariah Masson, in her 2nd season out of Oregon State, and what a job she has done this summer. Leads the league this season in opponent batting average with a 121 average, and 3rd with a 1.45 ERA. She's been outstanding.
A 121 opponent batting average is out of this world in this league. That would be like sub 100 in the college game. I mean, just like 0.50. Just crazy how good that is.
And it's not in a super, I mean, we played 2 weekends. She's thrown 9 2/3. That's not a minuscule sample size. She's thrown some innings. She sees the top of the order here. Zirkle Lorenz Romero. Zirkle fouls that off her own leg.
Just her ability to move the ball more off the plate, too. Use her drop ball that she likes to rely on, but then also be able to mix in her side-to-side stuff with her screw and curveball.
Talking about the autographs being signed in the stands. Maddie Husky, who is a member of Team Alexander this week, the rookie out of Washington, is sitting in the stands behind home plate, and there was just a line a moment ago with her signing autographs. I think she finally has a moment to breathe, but it's funny watching them line up the stairs whenever they find somebody.
Well, and I think that they're just asking the players maybe to wait for in between innings, because then the line piles up and then it blocks people's view. So I think kindly asking them to sign in between innings too. And I'm seeing right now the coach from the California team talked to Michelle Smith, and his daughter is a pitcher, Jada Green. Just shook the hand of Michelle Smith. A lot of cool, just so many cool moments and connections and relationships being formed at the World Series.
Swing and a miss from Zirkle, and Masson has the second out of the inning, her first strikeout to the first batter she faces. Athletes Unlimited and Topps have unveiled the first ever set of player trading cards that feature all 4 Athletes Unlimited sports combined into one set. The 200-card set features 185 athletes from the 2022 seasons and is available at Target, Barnes & Noble, hobby shops, and through Topps.com and Fanatics.com. That is if Amanda Scarborough and I left any after we opened a massive stack of packs last weekend in Rosemont, or 2 weekends ago.
It's all about the mystery and the surprise about who you're going to get. Are you going to get the specialty cards? Are you going to get one that has an autograph on it? So it's like opening up a present every time that you open up a pack of cards.
Topps had a booth set up over at the Little League Softball World Series. Plenty of people looking for new cards over there. Sierra Romero with a runner on in the form of Amanda Lorenz, who you can basically not get out right now. She's 2 for 3 tonight and has barely raised her season batting average because she is absolutely raking so far. 609 on base entering this game, 471 average. Sierra hitting 400 on the year. Watches the strike on the inside corner. Masson has her down 0-2. At the end of the bat, Sierra just fighting right now. Life as a captain for Sierra Romero has been really good these last couple weeks. 3-0 last week. Her team up 3-1 here in the opening game of series number 3. Oh-2 just misses.
And she worked really hard in the offseason to come in from pitch number 1, game number 1, and come in shape and feel great about her preparation. That preparation is what breeds a player's confidence, and you can really tell with the way that she's played this season.
Still fans coming into the stadium here, and this is a partnership that means a lot to Little League and to Athletes Unlimited, as displayed by the 2 co-founders of Athletes Unlimited in the building tonight, Jonathan Soros and John Patrikoff. They're both here to take in the event. Still one more game to be played. Talk to Kat Osterman between games. Off speed, Romero into left field. Jasmine Jackson, though, a couple steps to her left for out number 3.
But Team Romero takes back the lead. 8-9 in the lineup come up, and it's back-to-back solo home runs for Jessie Warren and Lily Piper, celebrating, taking that lead, now a 2-run lead.
3-1. Big inning here for Team Davidson. Inning win points on the line, and they trail by 2 as we go to the bottom of the 5th here in Greenville, North Carolina. A lot of softball to be played tonight and tomorrow and the rest of this week, all the way to Sunday. But here is the Little League Softball World Series bracket. Great matchup to kick things off tomorrow on ESPN. North Carolina and Texas. Love that one.
Yeah, Texas won it all last year from Midway Little League over near Waco, Texas. They are the defending champs. They returned 9 of the 12 from their roster that won it all last season, which is unusual. And actually, there are 6 teams making back-to-back appearances that were here last year and made it back. So 6 of the 12 teams were here last year.
Incredible atmosphere over at Stallings Stadium at Elm Street Park. Alicia Ocasio replacing Rachel Garcia. And Ocasio, we talked to her right before the game, actually, about what has worked so well for her as this is hit high into right center field. Rhodes trying to track it and does on the warning track. But Alicia said she's just got her mental toughness back and her confidence and is trusting her arm after dealing with an injury last summer.
Yeah, she even changed her windup. So used to have a really big drop back with her arm that went well back behind her head, and now she just stays out of her glove, and that's because of a shoulder injury, a labrum injury that she's been dealing with. And it's a different look because that was the same windup that she pitched with in college. And if you saw Ocasio have a picture that posted on social media or in a press release, it was always the big windup. And it's even at Rosemont at the stadium, a picture of her. But feeling more confident now with this windup and the work that she put in to try to feel better about the health of her shoulder and come out and be able to perform.
Said it didn't take too long, a couple weeks before she got comfortable with the new windup. Said it was really about finding the same timing that she had within her other. And this is the Alicia Ocasio that we are used to seeing right now, and it goes back to after the shortened AUX season. She went with Puerto Rico, played in 2 events, including the World Cup qualifier in Valencia, Spain, where she was dominant. She was the Group B most outstanding player. A flat 1 ERA. She hit 300 at the plate. I asked her too, I said, hey, if you're captain, are you in the lineup? She said, oh yeah, I'm hitting if I'm captain.
Another two-way player in this game that throws right-handed, she hits left-handed, can play pretty much any position on defense.
This is hit well into left field, and Ortez, a no-doubter into the trees. Anissa Ortez gets one back for Team Davidson, and it's 3-2. Her first home run of this championship season.
Ball is just flying out of this ballpark. Another pitch left over the heart of the plate. When these pitchers are making pitches, they're getting outs, but a lot of these pitches are mistakes, and the hitters are too good. They are going to make you pay for those mistakes. That is the 4th solo home run in this game.
This off-speed pitch to start off Mia Davidson. Anissa Ortez, somewhat quietly, is just always there. Always playing good defensively. She's a former defensive MVP in the league. Always has a big hit, it seems like. We saw that at AUX a number of times. As Mia Davidson down 0-2 though, Ocasio wastes one there, ball 1.
And that play that Anissa Ortez made at shortstop earlier today too, just spectacular. Have a shortstop like that with that range and arm that can hit home runs like that. You want her on your team.
One of those plays that she makes look so easy and natural, even though it's off balance, it's moving in an awkward direction. You kind of afterward, you're like, is that as good? That was the great play, right? Like, she made that look so easy. There's a number of those in this league defensively. Davidson out in front of that.
Well, and you'll notice that Alicia Ocasio changes speeds basically every pitch. When we were talking to her before the game, we're like trying to narrow down all the different pitches that she's throwing this season and the speed that she wants to try to throw them at. And actually told us too, we'll work in her fastball to some of these hitters.
Fields her position well, gets Davidson to ground out, and there's 2 outs.
Which I wish that a lot of these Little League pitchers could hear us having this conversation, that the professional player that they're watching right now will mix in a fastball at times, because I think a lot of them think, oh, I'm 12, 13 years old, I'm too good to throw a fastball in games, and that's not it. We hear it at the collegiate level, the professional level, that these athletes will still at times use their fastball, and just the overall importance of throwing a fastball. Even when she was warming up, she said, that's what gets me making sure that I'm right.
Just the one mistake to Anissa Ortez here in relief of Rachel Garcia. 4 home runs now, all of them solo shots.
Yeah, today is not the day to give up free passes with the way that the ball is going to be flying. Somehow Rachel Garcia skirted by without giving up a home run and had 4 free passes between hit by pitches and walks, and only gave up 1 run in her outing.
Just 200 down the lines here at East Carolina University. It's an outstanding facility. But I will say, I don't know that anything that's left the yard tonight wouldn't have in Rosemont, except for the wind that we've seen in Rosemont recently that has seemed like it's been blowing in all season so far. Wiggins underneath it and out of play. Zooming it, there it is. Yep, the mad dash.
Look how happy.
She's frozen. And now she'll have to get that signed after this game. Into left field, long run for Lorenz, who makes the catch for out number 3.
Team Davidson able to get one back and answer with their own solo home run. They gave up 2 solo shots in the top of the inning, and then Anissa Ortez answers back with 1. They're down 3-2. Back-to-back home runs hit in the top of the 5th inning by Jessie Warren and Lily Piper. This is the bottom of the order with the long ball. Jessie Warren from the 8-hole, Lily Piper from the 9-hole, both solo home runs. Those 2 home runs are what gave Team Romero the lead back in the top of the 5th.
For every run scored during this year's Athletes Unlimited softball season, Aspiration committed to planting 10 trees, 840 were committed entering this week thanks to Aspirations support. You feeling good with Jesse Warren and the 8-hole in your lineup if you're Sierra Romero?
Seriously. You're feeling really good about that. So many good hitters in this league.
4, 5, 6 coming up for Team Romero, and Taylor Edwards well placed into right field in front of Erica Piancastelli. Well, let's go down to Savannah Collins with a special guest.
Thanks, Chucky. I'm joined by Mark Phillips. He's with the Greenville Organizing Committee. This is the 3rd year for the Little League Softball World Series in Greenville. How big has this event been for the city?
Oh, it's a phenomenal event. You know, we started this thing during the height of COVID of 2020, of course, and all good plans were like put to rest. But, you know, 3 years later, we've learned from what we've done over the past few years, and it's a phenomenal just opportunities for the city of Greenville. Not only for just the city of Greenville, but really for North Carolina and beyond, because we've had visitors really traveling in, and we've even seen more visitors traveling this year, Savannah, so it's a really great opportunity for us.
As you see people from coming all over, can you take us a little bit behind the scenes, how this community rallies together to make this event what it is?
Yeah, and that's what makes it so fun. I often say Greenville, North Carolina is big enough but small enough, and I think that's the right balance. I mean, look, we've got Little League International as a great partner. We've got obviously East Carolina University where we're here today, and also just the city of Greenville in itself. It takes those combinations. It takes all the volunteers to pull this thing off. It takes what I call a village to make this thing happen, and everybody just behind it. They back us, and what a great ad this year with the Athletes Unlimited event. And look, I mean, if you look around, it's pretty amazing what you see these young ladies really being experienced with these players.
For all these Little Leaguers, some from North Carolina, some traveling from other countries, what's the one thing that you hope that they walk away with from this experience?
Well, I think that's what we all strive for every day. We want them to walk away and look back 15 years, 20 years from now and say, that's the best event and the best experience I've ever gained. So, I mean, look at what we're doing. I mean, you see the Philippine team coming from over 9,000 miles away. And you see the Filipino community just coming out to rally them because look, their parents couldn't make it. So it's often awesome just to look around to see what their experiences are, to look at how they interacted with the professional player just today. That's the experience we want them to gain.
Well, thank you, Mark, for joining me, and thank you for all you do for Greenville and making the Little League Softball World Series happen. Appreciate it. Chucky, back to you.
This is the 3rd double play for Team Davidson in this game. All have come in a different way. That time, the 4-6-3, but we've seen an out at home and then another runner get doubled off at first.
First pitch swinging for Garcia. Masson takes care of it. The unconventional 1-2-3 inning for her. On to the bottom of the 6th we go. Just a 1-run game here in Greenville.
I think it's a beautiful thing for them to be able to come here and play in the Little League World Series, for Puerto Rico to be able to be represented, the island, a huge, huge opportunity for them to come here, but also a great experience for me to be able to watch them and see them and give back, be able to meet them and know that they can also be in Athletes Unlimited and in pro softball. I just told them to have fun. This is a great experience for them to be here with their teammates, to embrace it. Told them good luck and told them to keep going, to keep working hard, and one day they'll be in an Athletes Unlimited uniform.
Wow, what an incredible moment for that Puerto Rican team to be able to interact with Alicia Ocasio, who just dominated the WBSC World Cup qualifiers with Puerto Rico.
Well, and the head coach of the Puerto Rican Little League team, Carlos Leon Sugranes, is an assistant coach with the Puerto Rican national team with Alicia Ocasio. So there's a connection there. They've been around each other, and busy summer for Alicia Ocasio when she went to play in El Salvador with Team Puerto Rico, as well as Valencia, Spain.
Ocasio back out there, and Fisher, line shot, stabbed by Romero over at second.
People are just getting robbed left and right in this game today. A lot of double plays turned, a lot of hard hit balls that have been right at these infielders. Watch the stretch. Sierra Romero times that perfectly. Sam Fisher wanted a hit, and Sierra said, nope.
Erica Piancastelli. Savannah's actually down there by the Puerto Rico team in the stands.
Think about your favorite athlete when you were about 12 years old. Well, this group of athletes from Team Puerto Rico got to meet theirs yesterday with Alicia Ocasio, and they have been loud in this game. That cheer that you just heard now is the one that they've been doing all game. So I'm going to get it started with them. They helped me out to learn it. Are you all ready? So, yo soy Boricua, pa' que tú lo sepas. Yo soy Boricua, pa' que tú lo sepas. Yo soy Boricua, pa' que tú lo sepas. Yo soy Boricua, pa' que tú lo sepas.
Well, they are still in awe of Alicia Ocasio, but the Italian team probably celebrating right now. Erica Piancastelli with a solo home run to tie this game up in the sixth.
Yeah, they're probably going to start doing their own cheer back to Team Puerto Rico. You had Puerto Rican in the circle, an Italian at the plate. Another solo home run in this game. Erica Piancastelli is able to stay in her legs on an off-speed pitch. Keep her barrel through the zone. A powerful line drive over the left center field wall, and another one.
And now Nadia Taylor, and they go back to back. Flipping the script on Team Romero. Team Davidson leads thanks to the veteran out of Texas, Nadia Taylor. Her first home run of the season.
This is turning into like a home run derby. Sixth home run in this game. And the craziest part about all of them is that they have been solo shots. Nadia Taylor likes a pitch early in the count. It was a towering fly ball. A lot of these have been line drive home runs, not this one. The highest hit fly ball or home run that we have seen in this game. Back-to-back home runs for Team Davidson, answering back to a back-to-back home run that Team Romero had earlier in this game.
Hugs all around for Nadia Taylor and the Team Davidson dugout. What a turn this is. Piancastelli and then Taylor. And now a pitching change for Team Romero. Sydney Littlejohn Watkins out of the University of Alabama. And the curveball, which you had to teach her, right, when you were coaching her up?
I did not teach Sydney Littlejohn Watkins this curveball. That is all her hard work, and the way too that the way her body moves. A nasty curveball. She is by far a curveball specialist.
Let's Let's go down to Savannah. She's staying busy. More home run hitters with her.
Thanks, Chucky. We're going back-to-back all day today. How huge was this to answer back for Team Orange?
It was awesome. You know, like the belief from day one has been amazing, and I just really want to do it for every single girl on this team.
To be able to answer back like that in this game, to stay in this fight, Stelly, what has it taken for this team to stay locked in this way?
Just believe. I mean, everyone believes in each other, and I think from the first inning, we had no doubt that we were going to come out and play, and just had to wait on our inning right there, and it took us a little bit, but we're back, and we squared the ball pretty well and had really good at-bats.
It's been a quick turnaround, the travel, getting here, getting settled in. What has it taken for this team to come together? What has been important for creating that chemistry?
Honestly, Mia Davidson has been great. And yeah, you know, we've worked out together, we've, you know, had team breakfast, and it's just been a complete team cohesive day. Like, everything's been cohesive.
You know, Mia's pretty humble when you ask her about her game, so I'm going to let you all have the opportunity to just give her some praises as a captain. How has she brought y'all together, and what is she like in that role?
Bro, she's amazing. She's just so chill, and she just believes in us. And there's, like, you just look in her eyes, there's no doubt. And from 1 through 9 on the lineup, she believes in every single one of us, and she just brings this trust on the field that we can just play loose and be ourselves, and I think it's the best feeling.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We heard that from Mia Davidson when we had her mic'd up earlier in this game. And I think what's also interesting, these captains change every week based on who the top 4 on the leaderboard are, but there is a respect for the captain. I mean, it could be anybody any given week, but once you know who those captains are and you get drafted, I think there's a natural respect these athletes have for that position.
Yeah, they do. I think it's just part of being a team and respecting your leader. And also, too, you're like, well, this person picked me for a reason to be on this team, so I'm going to go all in for them.
Some similar things there from Nadia Taylor and Erica Piancastelli about Mia Davidson that we heard from Jessie Warren and Alicia Ocasio on Sierra Romero as a captain. Just great communicators. Really tried to put their teams in the best possible places to succeed and where these athletes are comfortable. As Sydney Littlejohn Watkins comes in and gets the first out that she faces. It's a strikeout, second out of the inning. Down to the bottom of the order, and Jasmine Jackson putting it on the ground. Piper goes back over to first and steps on it just ahead of Jazz. That we have a new leader in this game. Team Davidson on the board big time this inning.
How many solo home runs are we going to have in this game? Right now, we have 6. And at 2 different times in this game, there have been back-to-back solo shots. This time, Team Davidson answers with Piancastelli and Nadia Taylor.
Two runs on 2 solo shots, 10-inning win points for Team Davidson, and they lead Team Romero. 3 chances left. Erica Piancastelli and Nadia Taylor coming up big on those back-to-back home runs. Don't forget the Little League Baseball Regional Championships all day Friday, starting at 1 Eastern with the Midwest and all the way through 9 Eastern with the West Region championship. Got the chance to call a couple Midwest games and Great Lakes region games. The Great Lakes actually crowning their champion tonight. The Little League Baseball World Series kicks off on the 16th of August, so coming up quickly 1 week from today. Shannon Rhodes, 7, 8, and 9 due up here for Team Romero. Rhodes just fouled down the third base line. Not a bad spot, though, because this is where their back-to-back home runs came from. Jessie Warren on deck and Lily Piper after her.
You just don't know what's going to happen in this game. Take the lead into the top of the 7th inning, but with the way that the ball is flying out of the ballpark, Ryan Masson has to be so careful right now.
0-2, swing and a miss. Squeezed by Davidson. Masson gets the strikeout. Her second. Get yourself into the game by joining the Unlimited Club. Vote on game MVPs, enjoy exclusive events, contribute 10% to the player bonus pool, and more for just $20 a year. Sign up now at auprosports.com/membership. Off speed, Warren trying to stay with it, and that'll go out of the stadium.
You know, I look to the scoreboard right now, and Team Romero has 9 hits, but they're losing by a run. And can't help but think about the 3 double plays that Team Davidson has turned in this game. The orange team out on defense. That's the reason that they have the lead right now, is those 3 double plays. Team Romero has had traffic, walks, hit by pitch, hits, but 3 double plays in 6 innings. Half the innings have had 1 hit and 2 outs. I mean, that is a pitcher's dream come true and a captain dream come true for Mia Davidson.
Masson, back-to-back strikeouts of Rhodes and Warren.
Look at her move the ball around. Mariah Masson looks so sharp. Rise ball up and in to Jessie Warren, one of the home run hitters in this game. Perfect placement with that rise.
Last chance, Lily Piper. Ground ball left side, Fisher. And there it is. Team Davidson with a come-from-behind victory. They score 4 runs in the last 3 innings. And they win it over Team Romero, the first loss for Sierra Romero as a captain in 4 chances.
Their defense set the tone back in the first. That double play from Megan Wiggins, fly ball to center field, throwing home to prevent a run from scoring and get 2 outs on that double play was seriously the play that set the tone for the rest of the game. 3 double plays in this game and scoring in back-to-back-to-back innings late.
Mia Davidson even emotional about it right now. She is fired up. What a moment for her. First game as captain, and she gets it done. Team Davidson 4, Team Romero 3, another game coming. We'll be right back with more from Greenville. We'll be joined by Kat Osterman. Special piece on this group of pro softball players interacting with the Little Leaguers. Don't go anywhere.